So I've tried to avoid this topic for over 70 videos, but the time has finally come to cross the line and jump into controversial territory. One of the biggest questions I get asked from people moving to the Raleigh area of North Carolina is, what are the politics like? And where are the reddest or the bluest areas? So today we're going to get a little uncomfortable and explore the politics of the Triangle region of North Carolina. But before we do that, my name is Matt Martin and I'm a Raleigh-based realtor. I've helped tons of clients just like you relocate to the Triangle region of North Carolina. And if you're looking to do the same, I'd love to help you too. All right, so quick disclaimer. Real estate agents are bound by fair housing laws, which aim to protect various classes against housing discrimination. So there's a lot of things we can't talk about when it comes to demographics. So I'll often have people ask me, are there a lot of families in this neighborhood? Or is this neighborhood mostly older people or younger folks? All of which are protected classes under fair housing laws. So we can't talk about that. But political affiliations are not protected classes. So let the floodgates open. As I'm sure you're already aware, North Carolina is as purple of a state as my shirt. While the presidential race has gone red for the past 12 out of 15 elections, the governor's seat has had almost exactly the opposite record. It's gone to Democrats in 11 of the past 15 elections. As of January 2025, our governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general are all Democrats. But both of our senators and 10 of our 14 members of the House of Representatives are Republicans. So we really are a mixed bag when it comes to politics. With that said, if we zoom in on the Triangle region of North Carolina, you're gonna see a much more consistent story. Now, this is the New York Times precinct by precinct map of the 2020 presidential election, since the 2024 results aren't fully reported yet. But as you can see, the Triangle region leans a lot more blue than the state at large. And high level, you're going to find the bluest areas at the core of the Triangle, in Wake, Orange, and Durham counties, while things get more red as you move out in concentric rings to Lee, Harnett, and Johnston County. Since the area overall is more blue, I'm going to start with the bluest and work my way to the most red. And the bluest part of the Triangle is pretty much a three-way tie between its three anchor cities, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. Now, this really shouldn't come as much of a surprise, as these three cities are home to three Tier 1 universities, NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and Duke. And college towns typically lean more Big D Democratic. In some parts of these cities, Biden received over 90% of the vote in 2020. But as you start to move out from the city centers, the blue starts to dissipate. That takes us to the next set of blue-leaning communities, which are Cary and Morrisville, which are wedged perfectly in the middle of the imaginary triangle that would be created if you drew a line connecting Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. Morrisville and Cary leaned about 65 to 75% blue in the 2020 election. These areas were developed alongside the growth of the Research Triangle Park, which spans 7,000 acres and is one of the most prominent high-tech research and development parks in the United States. It's home to over 300 companies, including some of the biggest names in the corporate world like IBM, GSK, and Cisco. So many people who work in RTP love the convenience of Morrisville and Cary, which is a quick 10 to 15 minute drive down the road. And then rounding out the list, we have the mostly blue areas of the Triangle, which is quite a long list of cities that all had about 55 to 65% of voters voting for Biden in 2020. This list includes Pittsboro to the far west, then Apex, which bleeds down into most of Holly Springs and northern Fuquay-Varina. Heading east, you have portions of Garner and Clayton, then Knightdale, Zebulon, and Wendell to the far east, and finally to the north, you have most of Wake Forest. Now, many of these areas are pretty evenly split, 50-50, so you're absolutely going to find a mix of political ideologies, especially as you move out from each city's center. So those are the bluest parts of the triangle. So next up, let's make our way to the reddest parts. We'll start with the mostly red areas where Trump received about 50 to 60% of the vote in 2020. Now, this list pretty much mirrors the mostly blue list, but as I just mentioned, it includes the areas a bit further from the main downtowns. So you have the western parts of Apex around Jordan Lake, and you have southern Holly Springs into western and eastern Fuquay-Varina, which bleeds over into Angier. Then you have Willow Spring over into the outer parts of Clayton. You have western Wake Forest, and then a new entrant on the list, North Raleigh. The area north of 540, which we call the outer beltline here, between Creedmoor and Falls of Neuse, all around Falls Lake, leaned more red than the rest of Raleigh. As we continue moving outward from the center of the triangle, we start to encounter the more strongly red areas where upwards of 75% of the residents voted for Trump in 2020. This includes the southern parts of Fuquay-Varina in Harnett County, way southern Clayton into Smithfield, areas just north of Wake Forest into Youngsville, and an interesting little rural wedge between Knightdale, Wendell, and Rollsville. And then last but not least, we move into the solidly red category. But to be honest, you have to go beyond the traditional boundaries of how I define the triangle to find those. You have Selma just to the east of Flowers Plantation in Clayton, eastern parts of Angier, and southern parts of Graham, which is west of Chapel Hill. But again, most of these areas are quite a ways out from the center of the triangle, but I did want to create a balanced list. So those are the bluest and reddest parts of the Triangle region of North Carolina. As you can see, even though the triangle leans mostly blue, there are many areas that offer differing political persuasions. One thing I will note here, and I've said this in other videos, people don't really talk politics here as much as I was used to growing up in California and New York City. So it's pretty easy to get by day to day without really knowing where people stand. That is, until election season. Then all the streets are lined with signs from all parties everywhere. So if you're ready to come see what makes the triangle so great, or you're ready to kick off your home hunt here, I'd love to be your guide. You can reach me by phone, email, or text, and you can find all my contact information in the link below or by scanning this QR code right here with your phone. And if you liked this video, I have a whole catalog of others all about moving to, living in, and buying real estate in and around Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's another one here that you may like, so give it a click to keep on watching.